I would like to call the March meeting of Westminster Woods on Julington Creek's Council to order. My last meeting as chair. So welcome all of you. And Sherry Dingfield will give our invocation.
May I? Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you today to thank you for placing each of us in such a beautiful place to spend our retirement years. As we walk around this campus, taking in all that our eyes can see, the creek, the nicely manicured grounds, the friendly staff and fellow residents, many of which have become good friends. It is difficult not to have grateful hearts, so thank you, Lord, for all of that. We especially thank you for keeping us safe and well cared for during the unprecedented pandemic. Restrictions are not fun, but they have been proven to be for our own benefit, and thank you for that too. At this time, I lift up all of our residents' council to you. Some have been serving and others are newly elected. As they execute their duties, I ask that you provide wisdom, guidance, and harmony in all that they undertake to keep Westminster Woods on course. We pray this all in your Son's name. Amen.
Thank you, Sherry. And Gretchen Harris, our secretary's report.
Good morning. The minutes from the February meeting, which was video recorded and posted on MyWLive, they were distributed and also put on all the community bulletin boards. No corrections were received, so those minutes will stand as published. That's my official report. But now, if I may, I'd like to express my thanks for the opportunity to serve in this soon-ending 3-year term on Residents' Council. It has been a rewarding experience to work with a great group of residents and team leaders. Even though my hair turned gray and/or white during this time, I can't say that it's all due to the council meetings. It's been a good experience overall. I extend my best wishes to the next council beginning its work officially on April 1. May the representatives lead with insight, good judgment, and the best interest of residents at the core of their deliberations. Thank you for this privilege.
And our treasurer's report, Elizabeth Ray.
Good morning. I'm sorry to report that as a side effect of the pandemic, we are still struggling a bit financially. However, on the bright side, we're having a pop-up sale this week. And there's another one soon to follow. So all that money you've been saving for the past year, it's time to go spend it, okay? I'm not stepping down, unfortunately. You're stuck with me for another year, only 1 year. Maybe Gretchen will come back then. How about that? Thank you.
Are we posting the financial report along with the minutes?
Yes, ma'am, every month.
Okay.
And anyone that wants their personal copy is always welcome to ask for one, and I'm happy to send it to them.
Thank you. Are there any committee reports that anyone in the audience would like to give at this time? Okay, seeing none. Elizabeth, you want to mention the election results?
Certainly. As we end a new year and get ready to start as we end the old year and begin a new year, we do have about a 50% replacement on your council's membership. From the garden department, stepping down at the end of their terms are Kathy, Sharon Lewis, and Dudley Rosenbaum. The new representatives for the garden apartments will be Dudley Rosenbaum. He was an appointee for the past year, so he's been elected by his fellow residents for another 2 years. Denny Shea will be joining. She will be serving a 3-year term. And Ann Arneson also has been elected for a 3-year term. North Point Magnolia, stepping down is Mickey Albert. And replacing him as a representative for those 2 neighborhoods will be Ed Duncan for a 3-year term. Creekside and Eastwood, stepping down Ann Hannawalt, who is in Eastwood, Gretchen Harris, Creekside. And replacing them, we have Dave Dingfield, Eastwood, and Ray Carnes, Creekside, and they both represent both of those neighborhoods. Remaining on the council are from North Point Magnolia, Carol Ladner, from Eastwood, Creekside, me, and for another 2 years from Southwood, we have Joan Hodges and Bill Snell remaining. And that's it.
Thank you. And I want to echo Gretchen's remarks about the privilege of serving on the council. I have found it a very rewarding experience, and I hope that continues to be true for those who are coming on or continuing. A few items of business. We have some nominees for the Financial Review Committee. Bill Snell.
Yeah, we certainly do. The chair of the Financial Review Committee commented to the board that there would be some openings and recommended 2 individuals. I would like to put those names both into a nomination capacity, Ed Duncan and Don Arnson. I move that we accept them as members of the Financial Review Committee.
That is a motion. Is there a second? Second? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Before we take up the next item of business, I would like to ask Robert Thomason to explain his diversity project.
If you're like me, most of you grew up in a community where almost everybody looked like you. I'm sure that's not true of everybody, but that was certainly true of my experience. But throughout my life, my world has expanded to include people from all kinds of cultures with all kinds of differences. And I've learned to appreciate, affirm, and grow from that experience. One of my concerns about our community is that, again, I'm in a community where almost everybody looks like me, except for some of the staff. And this project is designed to help change that reality. It has 2 prongs. One is affirming the diversity that already exists. When I said everybody looks like me, that's not completely true, because there are some who don't, whose background is very different. We need to celebrate that. Second, we need to increase the diversity that does exist. This is not contrary to the goals of our community, Westminster Communities of Florida organization, nor is it different from what's happening on other campuses. So this would be an effort to join our efforts with other communities to propose ways that we might change that reality. That's my project. It's open to anybody who wants to be a part of it. I'm going to start it, if it gets approved, by gathering some of the diversity on the campus as the nucleus of a committee. But we're not going to call it a committee. We're going to call it a project, because it's not about meeting, it's about doing.
Okay, we have a motion.
Yes, we do. Be it resolved that the council endorse the resident initiative entitled The Diversity Project that seeks to celebrate and increase diversity on our campus and to work cooperatively with other Westminster communities in achieving that aim. We encourage all residents to join the effort.
Okay, that is a motion. Is there a second? Motion has been seconded. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And that concludes our business that I'm aware of. So, time for a report from our executive director. Brian?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Congratulations to all of the new council members, and also thank you to all of those that are graduating from the council. I've had the pleasure this past month or so to be working with Kathy Vandervliet, Carol Ladner, and Ann Artisan on the handbook, and we're very close to completing the appendix portion of the handbook to make that more accurate and a good resource for you all. One of the benefits of being able to work with them is that this is a handbook that is intended for your use, and they're able to help give us some great direction in making it a valuable resource to you. So I want to thank them for working with us on that, and once we finish the appendix portion, then we're going to do the handbook portion and hopefully have that all resolved by the middle of April or so. Wanted to let you know that our occupancy is maintaining a fairly stable, seeing a little bit of a decline in independent living right now as we're seeing more movement into assisted living. But our health center has been averaging in the low to mid 80 percentage occupancy. Our assisted living has been in the upper 90s, and next month we'll probably achieve a full census there again. And independent living, we're right around 93, 94%. We actually went from 94% to 93% in February. And we do have one scheduled move-in in March and one scheduled move-in in April, but there are a couple more transfers from independent living to assisted living that'll be happening in the later this month. So that's where we're at with our occupancy. Our financials are doing well. We're operating just below budget, right around budget for the year. So things have been going well from that perspective. And recently there's been a request for 24-hour access to the fitness, more availability of the fitness gym. And I'm happy to share with you that I've been meeting with Jerry Joe, and that we are going to be able to make the fitness gym open 24 hours. But we do need to continue to limit it to 5 people at a time. So there is still the opportunity to sign up for different time slots during the main part of the day. If some people that are in some of those slots start coming at earlier or later times, then that will open up some more spots for some other people. So we're going to try it at that rate first, and then we'll see where we go from there. One of the things that we're going to do is to reorganize the fob cabinet, and what we'll do is we'll put them in a number order, and then we'll have a master list of who's what number so that that can be referenced and it can be easier to find your fob than the way that it's currently organized. We do need to continue to wear masks and wipe down the equipment while we're in the fitness gym. And we're also going to continue to enter through the back door. You can cut through from the courtyard and go in the back door, the way many have done in the past. But since this is a part of the health center, we really just need to stay away from the health center lobby. And there might even be one of those movable doctors' partitions or whatever to kind of create a little bit of division from that part of the building and the fitness gym part of the building. So I'm happy to share all of that with you. Jerry Joe is working on resolving and making this happen. So what we're planning on is starting this next Monday. So next Monday we'll make the gym available 24/7. Today we have a redevelopment update, and Jim Pulaski is in the room with us today. He's a senior vice president of operations from Orlando, and he's going to be at the update today along with Gary Hennis, Chris Wickberg, and Sandra Noble. So we'll have more information to share with you in the coming forums about what's happening with the redevelopment and the memory care building that's slated to be started here in late spring. The lift station has been environmentally decommissioned. You saw a pile of dirt that was out here earlier this week, and that dirt has been used to fill up the old lift station over here. There's been 2 lights that have been installed over there to try to make the dip that's in the sidewalk there a little bit more obvious at nighttime. And we're getting ready to landscape that corner and make that a real nice corner, and with a bench that people can sit at if they would like to. I had shared with you previously that the vaccine is coming to Westminster Communities of Florida, and I'm happy to tell you that the Westminster Pharmacy is getting a vaccine. It looks like it's going to be the Moderna vaccine. So any residents that have not been vaccinated already will be able to receive the Moderna vaccine. Any team members that have not been vaccinated already or have been hired since we vaccinated everybody will have the opportunity. And then our health center residents are also the ones that are new that haven't been vaccinated will have the opportunity to get vaccinated as well. So if you are interested in being vaccinated, please let Cynthia Renchi know, the health resource nurse, and then she will be able to make those arrangements for you. I wanted to share with you that a lot's been going on with our marketing department, and many of you all know the personal experience that happened with Kathleen a couple months ago. And Kathleen has made a decision that she just needs to take a sabbatical and to just grieve over her loss and get things in order. She's looking forward to doing a lot of travel. She has a mother that's up in the Midwest that is in a similar community to this. Has a 3rd grandchild that she wants to be able to visit, and just found out that another grandchild's on the way. So she's looking to take about 6 months to a year of just spending time for herself. And she loves this community. She talks about it being a sabbatical because she likely will return in some way, shape, or form to Westminster if she decides to continue to live here in St. Johns County. But I did want to let you know that she has made that decision, and her last day will be March the 30th. We are getting close to making a decision on who the new director is going to be, and I'll be able to share that information with you soon. And continuing to hire in many other positions as well. Elizabeth is on vacation this week, and I'll be taking vacation the last week of March from the 22nd to the 28th. And I think that's about all that I have to share with you all today. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Can you share with us the planned changes in the dining room?
Yes. So with the information that we've communicated to you in regards to our dining services and the COVID accommodations that we've been making, a lot of that is going back in April 1st. So the delivery of meals will no longer be free, but it is still a free option to come and pick up your meals from the dining room if you would like to do so. We're anticipating that there's going to be more demand for the dining room with the free deliveries being discontinued. So the plan is to have 2 distinct dining times for each meal, and that we would be able to serve 80 people a meal. And so that's the plan going forward. For Sunday dinner, we'll start doing dinner again. We'll have both lunch and dinner, 2 times at lunch, 2 times at dinner. So everything is moving in that direction as we're planning for the beginning of April.
Thank you.
Brian, you mentioned the key fobs in the fitness center. Does that mean they're bringing back the scanner?
Yes, you will scan yourself in. The fitness people will not be supervising while you're there, not always be there because of other commitments that they have. And so you'll be signing yourself in, and you'll also be taking your own temperature.
I know it's a silly question, but why are we still taking our temperatures, especially now that 98% of us are vaccinated?
We are still learning about the vaccine and the virus, and we're very proud to all be vaccinated and be where we are right now, but we have not relaxed any of the screening procedures that we have. But once we do make that decision, we will share that with you.
Are there any other questions or comments from the council members? Dudley?
Brian, on dining, are we still going to make reservations, or are you just going to count them at the door, or how are we going to handle that?
We're going to continue to make reservations.
Seeing no hands from council members, there are comments from the floor.
Just, are we still supposed to be checking in at the gate, the front gate? Because they're not taking temperatures when they come back from places, so.
You just waved at us.
But I had not heard any announcement about that.
We have not adjusted any of our screening procedures, so they could be still taking your temperature and logging them. I'll have to follow up with Rod on that.
Okay.
Before the changes to the handbook are finalized, are we going to know what they are?
The changes that are happening to the handbook are making the handbook more accurate as to what's going on. And that's why we're working with the resident council on this. That was a concern of one of the council members, is that there would be stuff changed in the handbook that you all were not aware of. So we are working with the council on this. I think that they would be able to share with you that the substance of the content is not changing.
So far, I agree with that. It's primarily a matter of organization, grammar, taking out some things that are simply no longer true, like if you're getting take-up, you go to the buffet line. We have no buffet. And so those kinds of changes. Structure, yes.
And to clarify, we did work real hard with Kathleen Weber and Lisa Kruger when we made the major changes from the recycling company, Waste Management, last year. So that's all been done already. I want to look and make sure that it's as accurate as we thought we had it. So, but everybody, I think, has been following with the recycle images on MyW Life, that there were major changes in March, but we're working on it. So, but that, and it also has clarified in the table of contents where to find it. So I think it should be accurate.
Yes, we'll be including all of that information. And one of the things that we'll do once we're finished with the handbook is that we will provide everybody a new copy with a 3-ring binder so that as changes are made in the future, we can just replace a page.
Okay, Jim or Dave?
Brian, in one of your earlier presentations, you mentioned the N95 masks, or the preferred ones. There's a little confusion there. There's a few people on campus think that is mandatory. Those same people, when asked about it, well, I'm really not sure now. And then people who are trying to get them are finding that the stores are not readily available. They're out of stock. Staples is out of stock. Home Depot is out of stock. Walmart does not have N95s, have ones that they say are not N95s. So then the one other thing that happens is because they are disposable and you can only use them once, the cost becomes from $1.50 to $2 a day to keep yourself in masks. For many people on campus, a $45 to $60 bill a month for masks is not tolerable. They just don't have those type of funds laying around. So that we either need to clarify it that, yes, you do what Fauci says and do as I am, double masking with a filter, or go to N95s and Westminster buys the masks and supplies them for it, or something like that to solve this problem. But there needs to be some communication to the general public as to exactly what our position is. Is it just a recommended, or is it a must-have?
Thank you, Mr. Dowd. What has been published in my letters and written communication to you all is that a procedural mask or surgical mask like Mickey is wearing, or the KN95 or N95 is the preferred way to mask, that the cloth masks have not been found to be as effective. On the CDC website, it says that you can double mask or you can have multiple layers. It's also a acceptable practice to have a surgical or procedural mask underneath of a cloth mask. If you have kind of gotten used to the style of wearing a cloth mask, you can continue to do so with a procedural mask underneath. So we are not requiring that a KN95 or N95 is the mask that has to be worn on campus. And the guidance that we're providing here goes right alongside of the guidance that we've been providing around visitation. We provide you with what is recommended and safe, and then you all have the opportunity to decide what is most appropriate for you.
That is not generally accepted.
The CDC, right when this all started and there were big shortages, actually gave an amendment to that, even for hospital orders. So the package probably does say to throw it away every time, and that would be the best practice, but CDC at the beginning of this said that you could wear it for a period of time and reuse it because of the shortage.
Do we know what a period of time is?
So what Jim is saying is he's providing some clarification on the understanding that a KN95 is a disposable mask and needs to be replaced each time. There has been an amendment in the use of the KN95 where it can be utilized for a period of time, and our organization has determined that 10 days is what we're considering to be a period of time. So you could wear an KN95 or N95 for roughly 10 days before having to replace it. Yes, Dave?
Back to the vaccine issue. Just as one resident, I am, I guess, disappointed, uncomfortable, some of those words, that our staff or team, as you referenced, and Brian, is that basically about a third of them, according to statistics that you've given us, have taken the vaccine, whereas 98% of the residents, or whatever, just about everybody has, in terms of residents, has taken the vaccine. So my question to you is, one, can you articulate why staff has been obstinate, or, I mean, it's been a long time now and they're refusing to do it, even with incentives that Westminster Woods is offering them. Number two is, in light of that, how long would you anticipate testing of staff is going to continue?
Thank you, Dave. So our team members are more than 50% vaccinated. So we're doing pretty well in comparison to other communities like ours in regards to our vaccination. There are many out there that are closer to the 33%, but there's a lot of different reasons that people choose to be vaccinated or not be vaccinated. And if you recall, prior to this year, the flu vaccine was always optional for our team members. And this year was the first year that we made the flu vaccine mandatory. So even with making it mandatory, there are some people who have either medical or religious beliefs or reasons to not get vaccinated. And those are honored by us as well. So that would be the first tier of people that may not get vaccinated. There's also some people that are considered to be early adopters and others that are maybe late adopters. Some people that want to see how it's going to affect other people before they decide if they want to do it themselves. And with us having 4 different vaccine clinics, we saw that, where at first people didn't get vaccinated, but then on the second or third opportunities, they did get vaccinated. So we've been able to pick up some there. There are other political and conspiracy type reasons that people also don't get vaccinated. And all we can do is to continue to educate people and help them to understand that this is in all of our best interests to be vaccinated. The vaccine is a vaccine that has been used for many years, that had been modified to address the coronavirus, and the results have been good to this point from all that we can tell. So I commend everybody, all of you all, the team members that have been vaccinated, for being bold enough to do so. And I'm happy that I've been vaccinated myself. My parents have been vaccinated. My sister and brother-in-law are now getting vaccinated. So, I mean, there's a lot more opportunities now for people to get vaccinated. Hopefully, we'll see our percentages continue to rise among our team members.
How about testing?
Well, we're doing testing on a monthly basis for non-vaccinated team members that don't work in the health center. The health center still has to be tested on a weekly basis based on the ACA guidelines. And it can become more frequent if somebody were to test positive, but we haven't had anybody test positive in the health center since late January.
A bit of humor along these lines. I was speaking with a resident whose hair was at least as gray as yours, Gretchen, as to why she did not and would not get the the vaccine, and she was very concerned that you would not be able to become pregnant.
There's that myth out there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows? Maybe it's true.
I understand that new CDC guidelines say that vaccinated people can meet indoors without a mask. Are we not going to follow that guideline?
Well, we might. I think that might be, very new information. We do have a resident council call later today. I don't think that it's on the agenda there, but generally we run things through the resident council presidents before we make changes on the campus.
One more. Did the offer of a $400 incentive result in significant increase in vaccinations?
I would say about a dozen people got the vaccination as a result of the incentive.
I would just like to add, I became a super shopper the other night for the mask because all I had was the cloth ones. And they do differentiate between a KN95 and an N95. True, as Jim said, the N95s are scarce, but there's a plethora of KN95s. I got 25 in colors for about $1 a piece. So if you wear them for 10 days, that'd be $3 a month or so. So I want to pass that along in case anybody wanted to order those. They are available.
And the KN95s are considered to be as good as the N95s. Right. And that's what we use in our health center, is the KN95s. Yes, Robert?
Here. I understand making a differentiation between the flu shots and the vaccine for the coronavirus because the coronavirus vaccine is only approved for emergency use. But it seems like maybe we could, if we can require flu shots, we could require the vaccine. But the second question I wanted to ask was, are we asking the question about vaccinations with new hires?
Absolutely. And when somebody is hired that has been vaccinated, after they stay 90 days, they'll get the incentive too. We won't give them for the first, getting the vaccine, but we will give them the incentive after 90 days.
Dudley?
You've answered all the questions for our heart, mind, and soul. I have one for our belly. We're going to get our buffet back.
There's no plans for a buffet to come back. I did hear that Ruby Tuesday has opened theirs back up, so if you want to go get a buffet, Ruby Tuesdays might be the place to go.
I assume an invitation means you're buying.
If you'll go with me, no, I'm not a big advocate of the buffet at this point, but maybe at some point. I'll join you in the dining room.
Are there any other questions or comments? Thank you all. Meeting is adjourned. I'm sorry. Thank you.